ski. So here I'm going to record the video, and this is the chat from the very beginning. So these are, yeah, I'll just scroll through it slowly. It's pretty long. Near the end it just gets pretty scrappy, so you probably don't need to look at that. And yeah, you can pause it and like screenshot it. I'll go here. And the other thing, it's good because you can just like click copy and it will like copy the whole text. So this was like definitely the most important step, was like me taking the time to write all this out. I'll go into these. This was just an image that I had that I wrote down. This was the flow that I wanted the user to go through. This was my idea in like one sentence. These are some mock-ups that I designed on Figma, but like really this was probably unnecessary, but it did help. So you go from the screen to this. That was basically what I wanted to do, and then I like explained it here. I tell you what, I'll just scroll like this and then I'll scroll to the next one so you can pause it and have a look at that. Then it created these 5 files for me. So it had a really good idea of what I wanted to create, and it laid out the foundation, like these 5 different documents. And it was explaining it every time. So then once I had my front end set up, once I had the user interface set up, I wanted to set up the actual code in the back end, and I explained what I wanted the back end to do. And then like remember, make sure everything is super simple, that sort of thing. And so it gave me the most simple way to do that, which was with Python. Yeah, I'm just recording the video. So that was a super long one. So yeah, then I wasn't too sure if I was good, so I just attached a screenshot. It might not load, but I attached a screenshot of my code that I copied and checked that it was good. Great, and then so basically by this point, okay, so far it's working. By this point, I basically had the very, very simple structure of the app, right? And then I just started thinking like, what's the next most simple thing that I want to add to take it closer to something that I could actually release, right? So I want to add a home screen was the next thing. And I asked, how do I do that? And honestly, in hindsight, it would have been better to think about this. It would have been better for me to plan a bit better, think about this thing all the way back up here, like all the way back up when I was writing that note here. And I should have put that in as well. I should have put like another home screen before this, right? And I should have explained that that's what I wanted, because it would have just made this whole process easier if I'd had that planned out. So that's an example of where I could have planned better. Because then it means I have to update, modify this file that I've already made. Which is fine, like I can modify it, but the more and more I do that throughout the conversation, the more and more harder it is to keep track of like what's going on. So if you set it all out in the beginning, sorry, I'll just stop there. If you set it all out in the beginning, it's super helpful. At the same time, that being said, like you don't want to give it too much to do at once. You always want to break it down into really simple tasks for AI to do. So as long as you lay it out simply, it will be able to do it. So yeah, you can see it's updating all of these files like question view and stuff that I'd already created. And it was fine because it worked. And like the app's fine. Just ideally, I probably would have done it at the beginning. And then like, you know, here it like didn't write it properly because it was too, you can see it had to do another message. So it kind of messed up. So I said like, can you rewrite it just so I could get it properly? And yeah, that's that. So here's an example of where it wasn't running, right? Like I attached this image and I'm getting all these issues, right? So I just took a screenshot of it, asked ChatGPT, like I now need to test it, but I'm running into the issues. How can you like fix it basically? So it made a list of everything and then it went through, it gave me the code exactly that I just needed to copy and paste to fix it. So you can see like it will literally do everything for you as long as you, like, I mean, there's a limit, but it will do everything basic, which is all like we need, you know? So then great. And now by this point it was running. I had this app and it was now like, I need to fix this thing. So that was the next thing. I need to fix that error. So I updated it. So then basically, and then I basically just kept repeating this process. Like once I had like an MVP, a minimum viable product of what I thought, and it was working, I then think, what's like, is it ready to bring to the app store? Could people use it like this? And the answer was no up until now. And so I just add the next most simple thing. I'd ask ChatGPT to tell me. And now I feel like it's at the stage where this is like the most simple form of the app that I can like release to people. So I'm going to release it. That's essentially it. And like you can see, I'm only this far through the conversation. So like it's probably not worth reading the rest of this. Like, you know, here's another example of what I want to do. When I click on new goal, I want to be taken to the input view, you know, and then it would just help me with all of that. So this was an example of something that like didn't work very well. With the AI didn't do a very good job of it, so I had to kind of fix it myself. But so yeah, there's sometimes but even then I didn't have to code anything. I just had to think of another, like I just had to use like logical thinking to think of another way to get this done. But it didn't involve me writing any code. So it updated it, but it didn't work in the end anyway. I'd asked it a question here. Yeah, so I had to explain it even more. And this is the point where like it's, and so here I'll even paste my code in. This is the point where it starts to get a bit more lost. I'm like, you know, like 10 conversation, probably 10 to 15 conversations in, and things start to get lost. And then like, you know, I keep asking it questions. Anyway, so this was this thing. I'll send you another quick video.